Good afternoon, football fans. Well, this is it. It's the final weekend of 2017, and the last week of the NFL season is upon us. Now, a lot there's a lot left to be decided, but pretty much almost everything has been clinched up lead up to this point, which results in a pretty anticlimactic Week 17. Uh, so anticlimactic that for the first time, there won't be a Sunday night football game on NBC to end the season. And this is mainly because that for the first time in about 7 or 8 seasons, there won't be a head-to-head game to decide a division. Uh, there's been such a game like that, at least one uh, every week 17 since 2010, and the season has ended with such a game 7 years straight from 2010 to last year. But pretty much everything's decided. Only one division's up for grabs. The two teams that are fighting for the title aren't playing each other. But there's still, but the shape of the playoff picture will be completed after Sunday. Let's start the AFC. Home field's still up for grabs for New England and Pittsburgh. Both teams won their respective games, and they're tied at 12-3. They're both going to be the bye teams, but they're still home field. If New England wins, they get it. If Pittsburgh wins, New England has to lose for them to get it. If both teams tie, New England gets it because the referees handed the Patriots that game against Pittsburgh. So, by the way, the Jets are New England's opponents in Foxborough. Pittsburgh hosts the Browns, who are trying to avoid futility. That's right. The Browns are 0-15, and it looks like they could be on their way to becoming the second winless team in the last decade, joining the '08 Detroit Lions. Um, all four divisions in the AFC have been wrapped up. Jacksonville won the division when the Rams beat the Titans, so congratulations to them. Um, they can't get a bye, but they can't get a bye, so they will open the playoffs at home at Wild Card Weekend. But against who? That's the question. Kansas City managed to win the West, so congratulations to them. There's still two playoff spots up for grabs. The Ravens, Titans, Chargers, and Bills are fighting for the two available spots. Yes, the Bills have a chance to end the longest playoff drought in sports. They have not reached the playoffs since 1999, which is also the last time the Jaguars won a division until this year. So, so here are the scenarios for that. Of course, Baltimore has the easiest scenario. They control their own destiny. All they have to do is win. All they have to do is win against Cincinnati, and they're in the playoffs. Either that or Buffalo or Tennessee could lose or tie. But Baltimore controls their own destiny. Tennessee also controls their own destiny. If they win, they're in. If they tie, the Bills and Chargers, neither of them can win. Or if the Bills and Chargers just lose, um, they get in, even without winning. Now the Chargers were on the verge of possibly making the playoffs after starting 0-4, which they did 25 years ago. So they can do it again, but they still have a shot. They're still alive. They lost the division, but they're still alive. The Chargers need to win and some help. Uh, Chargers win. The Chargers win. Tennessee loses or ties, and either a Buffalo loss or a Baltimore win gets the Chargers in. If they tie, if they tie their game against the Raiders, Tennessee has to lose and Buffalo cannot win. So Chargers still have a shot, but they need some help. As for the Bills, in order to end their long, long playoff drought, in order to reach the playoffs in the 21st century for the first time ever, it's pretty much simple. They have to win. They have to beat Miami, which is easy, and Baltimore has to lose. Or, or the Bills have to win. Neither the Chargers nor Tennessee can win. If Buffalo ties, the Chargers and Titans both have to lose. So that's pretty much how it goes there. So that's the AFC. The NFC doesn't have much left. Home field has already been decided. Philadelphia, it was quite a scary close game against the Raiders, but they managed to get home field and win it at the end. So so the road to the NFC goes through the city of brotherly love. The second first round bye is, I think, still up for grabs because Minnesota hasn't locked that in yet. And The Saints and Panthers won their respective games um, last week, so they're in the playoffs. The Rams won the NFC West with their win against the Titans, which means for the first time in almost a quarter century, there will be an NFL playoff game played in the City of Angels. Congratulations to the Rams, and that's a hell of a story. They went from worst to first. All they had to do was change the coach because they had the same team. But and the only bubble team left is Seattle. Seattle beat the Dallas Cowboys in a lose and go home game. The loser goes home, and unfortunately, it was the Cowboys who ended up going home. Which is, with that means only one team from the NFC's Final Four last year will make the playoffs, and there's a good possibility that both of the teams that played for the NFC Championship could be out because Atlanta still hasn't clinched a spot yet. It's Atlanta and Seattle tied at 9-6. Atlanta has the tiebreaker because of their Monday night win over Seattle with that game time field goal missing by that much. As the late great Don Adams said for years. So here are the NFC scenarios. Here are the NFC scenarios. Minnesota has a shot. Minnesota has a shot to buy. All they have to do is win. If they win, they get it. If New Orleans wins, they get it. If the Rams win, they get it. Or if Carolina loses, they get it. So to say they control their own destiny for a bye is an understatement. The Saints and Panthers are trying to win the NFC South. The only division left up for grabs. Saints win, they get it. Carolina loses, they get it. If both teams tie, they get it because New Orleans has, I think, the head-to-head tiebreaker. I think they have it. Carolina needs to win. Carolina needs to win, and New Orleans cannot win for them to win the division. If Carolina ties, the Saints have to lose. Carolina can get a bye, but they have to win. They have to win. Minnesota has to lose, and neither the Rams nor the Saints can win. So that's a lot to get a bye. But and of course, the scenarios involving Atlanta and Seattle are cut and dry. It's basically simple. In Atlanta, like I said, they have the tiebreaker, so they control their own destiny. If they win, they're in. If Seattle loses, they're in. If both they and Seattle tie their games, Atlanta's in because they're head-to-head. Seattle has to win, and Atlanta cannot win. A loss or tie. If Seattle ties, Atlanta has to get beat by the Panthers. Panthers and Falcons played each other. Seattle's playing the Cardinals to end the season. Now, as it stands, I said Baltimore and Tennessee have the playoff positions, which means at the moment we are looking at a third meeting between the Jags and Titans on Wild Card Weekend, and the Ravens will go to Kansas City. As it stands right now, in the NFC, Atlanta will be off to La La Land. I don't mean the movie with Ryan Gosling, which certain people thought won the Oscar. To face the Rams, while the Saints and Panthers play each other. It just hit me. Rams, Saints, Panthers, Falcons. That's four teams from the old NFC West with the 49ers. So the old NFC West could be running into each other. The wild card weekend. It's going to be crazy. And Seattle could be in for a third meeting against the Rams, and that's going to be in LA. However, Seattle actually won in LA in the regular season. That's right. They split the season series, but the road team won both games. And of course, Philadelphia and Minnesota can have the buys. That's if this holds up. Minnesota faces the Bears to end the season. As for the Packers, our season ends in Motor City, Detroit. And some Packers news I just read, we signed Devontae Adams to a 4-year extension, so we'll have 4 more years to enjoy number 17 catching those passes from the bad man himself, who will be plenty rested and should be plenty healed with the extra 2 weeks off. Like I said, it's not this week. 17 isn't going to be as nail biting as the last 7 season enders. Like I said, there's no winner take all division title game this year, but it still should be interesting. A lot of teams and a lot of fans will be scoreboard watching. Like I said, Packers are done. I don't have a dog in this fight, but as I said before, I'm hoping for an all Pennsylvania Super Bowl, and of course I'm getting the Jets and Patriots game, so I'm hoping the Jets pull it out in Foxborough, Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh avoids some embarrassment. They don't want to be the one. No, they don't want to be the one. The Chargers were the one last year. So, but so anyway, that's what happened in Week 16. The wins, the teams that needed to win got their wins, got what they wanted. Numbers were thinned out, and the last teams will be in and will be clinched in and eliminated, and the playoff field will be completed on New Year's Eve. The NFL season will end at about between 4:30 and 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is about, of course, at the latest 8 o'clock Eastern prime time. So about 4 hours about 4 hours before the ball drops in New York City. So that's my review. That's my review of Week 16 and the scenarios heading for the final Sunday. With that, I say enjoy Week 17 and have a happy and prosperous 2018. I'll be back. I'll be back after Week 17 to review that and take a look at the playoffs. So until then.